Hello, great to see you and welcome to my channel. My name is Teacher Verity. I am making YouTube videos relating to biology tutorials. I believe on my research about all that will somehow help you can find the most suitable materials for your reference. How my sharing can help you can get more useful knowledge. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to update every new video. Okay, so let's get started. In today's video, I am going to, continuing from the previous tutorials investigating about the origins of life on Earth, I am going to share more about the evolutions of life on ancient Earth. Life began to flourish, and the autotrophic of organisms had tapped a new niche, allowing the biomass of Earth at the time to dramatically increase. The autotroph and mass were absorbing carbon and light. The light invariably would always be an available source for synthesizing energy, while the carbon was not. CO2 was constantly being absorbed by these organisms, and after the biological reactions responsible for creating energy in them, oxygen would be released as the byproduct. Aerobic organisms. This meant the oxygens began to accumulate in the oceans where life existed. These new materials would, in turn, be taken advantage of by adapting organisms, leading to the creation of aerobic organisms and that used oxygens as a component of their energy creation. This is another example of life diversifying to adapt its environment and exploit the niches that it could occupy. This type of evolution continued, where the suppliance of potentials, energy-making elements, and compounds outstretched the requirements of life. Therefore, organisms continued to adapt to fill all available niche, as opposed to competing with one another. Intraspecific or intraspecific competition. Pathogens existed by this time and were able to leach resources from the single-cell hosts, kill them, and move on to the next host after multiplying. On top of this, resources for all organisms alive at the time were being stressed by the increasing population of species and also diversities of unique species. The exhaustible materials used by species were limited, and they would have to find their right to survive. To do this, natural selection would give them the competitive advantage over other organisms, and perhaps relieve stress caused by competition within the species. Intraspecific protist. One noticed event in the origins of life is the emergence of protists. Although these organisms were single cells like all other organisms, they were notably bigger, some being visible to the human eye. This adaptation must have been a selective advantage at the time, either over competitors or taking advantage of an illogical niche. In fact, adaptive change is believed to be analogical. Unlike other organisms, the protist contained self-organelles, which meant that a fundamental difference in the way life operated had arisen in the case of the protists. The occurrence of the protists were so unique that the diversities of them substantiates the animalia, and plantae classifications, because differentiating characteristics were noted, the presence of organelles. Basically, protists are unique because they possess a nucleus which contains the genetic information of the cells in the organism. Previous species were more simple of their nature and did not possess such as complex cellular structure. Okay, so next tutorials investigates how these protists survive in the time, progressing throughout our evolutionary timelines on Earth. See you on the next video, and don't forget to answer some of my questions. I can get in the link in the description below, but if in case that you are too lazy to check it out, I am going to send you 5 questions, and you should answer that. First, why carbon dioxide is absorbed by the autotroph oxygens is released as the byproduct in the process called photosynthesis. 2. Aerobes use oxygens, which was beginning to accumulate from the photosynthetic activities of autotroph as a reactant during chemical energy synthesis. 3. The competitions occurring between the same species is called interspecific. 4. One of the most notable events in the origins of life is the emergence of early protists that possessed the genetic materials in their nucleus. 5. Natural selection is one of the reasons that led to the diversifications of organisms.